What's happening, people? We're back here once again on CubCamTV for this, another edition of CubReacts. I'm super excited to be back inside the building as per. It's Thursday evening, and it's looking like there's going to be a lot of bangers dropping this evening. We are here for the premiere of this one, Bugzy Malone, Don't Cry, featuring Dermot Kennedy. Really looking forward to getting into this one. We've reviewed a fair few Bugzy tunes on this channel, so hopefully this one will be just as exciting. As always, massive shouts out to each and every one of you getting involved in the channel, hitting that subscribe button. It does look like we have hit our 5,000 target before my birthday tomorrow, so thank you to each and every one of you who has helped out on that. I'm turning 27 tomorrow, which is quite a bit of a madness, so thank you to each and every one of you who has supported the channel and given me the best birthday present I could have asked for. We've hit 5k in 9 months exactly, which is absolutely crazy. So what we're going to do is jump into this one. Please remember, guys, however, that there will be a lot of pauses and cuts in this video. This is to get around copywriting, and obviously it's a bit of a nightmare trying to upload at the minute, and I want to make sure we're as on the ball as possible. I don't want to be uploading a video like three weeks after the tune's dropped. Like, this doesn't really, there's no point in that for me. So what we're going to do is there's going to be a lot of chops, but what we'll do with that is become super analytical. So we're going to break down as much of the tune as possible, be that the music video itself, be that the bars where we can, be that the vocal performance, the production, everything. We'll break everything down. So if that's not your cup of tea, feel free to watch a different reaction video. However, we're going to get into this one right now. So let's crack on. So as always, it's looking like just from the off, we're going to have a very dramatic music video. I've noticed this a lot with what Bugzy's doing at the moment. He loves to put drama into the music videos. He essentially makes like mini movies with what he does, which is very, very respectable. Every tune has a story. Every tune has a point to it, which I really like in the way he puts things together.
I'm bleeding out. My eyes are full of blood. They're closing up. My clothes aren't tight enough. They cut them off. The skies aren't bright enough to see the gods. One hand on the crown. I'm on the ground. Tears are falling and she's...
This looks like it's going to be absolutely epic. I'm assuming it's something to do with boxing. Having seen the thumbnail, it's looking like it's boxing related. Obviously talking about being sparked out, essentially, being on the ground, not being able to see the sunshine. But yeah, it's sounding quite epic as well. A lot of really nice string action going on in the background, very orchestral, very soundtracky in the way it's been put together. Wouldn't surprise me if this was actually for a film. We've seen Bugzy involved with films. Obviously he did a track for The Gentleman and is in The Gentleman, which is a great film. So yeah.
Don't cry, be a soldier. Now you're holding your composure. I think I see the Holy Ghost. I'm not ready yet to leave the throne. No crying, I'm a soldier.
Right, the pressure going on behind that, you've got the kind of build up with the sort of that bass line underneath, really building energy and sort of potential energy and momentum for the tune. Those strings are still kind of rolling away. Bugzy's kind of got into this almost like harmonized vocal approach, which sounds really, really cool as well. Really, really nice kind of vibe to the tune as well. It feels epic, but it also feels kind of very well produced. The whole thing about it feels very, very precise in the way it's been put together.
Night to my enemies, didn't think I would survive my injuries, didn't think the Almighty would intervene.
Boy, that vocal is sick. It's almost like it reminds me a little bit of like a Rag and Bone Man type vocal, you know, but not as like big and not as brassy, but definitely it's got that kind of soulful tone to it. Really, really nice. I'm assuming that is Dermot Kennedy. I don't think I've heard anything from Dermot Kennedy before, unless I have. I recognize the name, but I can't put it to a voice. Really, really nice vocals over that section there, and it goes with the vibe of the tune. Very epic, very kind of very drama infused. That's the best way to describe it.
If life was a melody, would the angels congregate and sing for me? Blue lights in the sky signify tragedy.
This sounds awesome. Like, this sounds like it's out of a TV show or like a film or something. That as I said, it sounds like a mini movie. The way he puts these videos together as well. The production on this is absolutely crazy as well. There's so much energy. There's so much kind of power and passion behind what's happening in the instrumentation. The general composition of everything is very kind of uplifting and still has that sort of, oh, things could go wrong at any minute sort of feel to it. Like, it's very movie soundtrack in the way it's been put together.
You think I died for a second, so did I for a second. Oh Lord, I look up into the sky and thank my blessing to you.
Seeing Bugzy hitting those vocals, that's crazy. This tune's sick, and again, now he's in the back of an ambulance. I'm assuming he's been knocked out in the boxing fight. That's the point of what's going on. But yeah, really, really cool. And I think there's a sort of subtext to this as well. From things I'm gathering in the lyricism, sort of a subtext. obviously saying don't cry. It might be a bit of a message towards, obviously, if you're a man, you're supposed to stand up in a certain way, and I don't know how he's addressing that. And obviously different people have different upbringings, and different people have this kind of some people have this upbringing of don't cry if you're a man, and obviously if you're a man, feel free to cry. There's no issue with it, in my opinion. But I think this is almost like a bit of a metaphor for that. I may be shooting way off with that, but that's the sort of thing I'm gathering from the lyricism on this one. I got told I need to pay more attention to lyricism, so there we go.
Where was you when you seen it nearly died? And I mean it, I cannot think of another time in life that I have
The fact they're going back and forth with the sort of actual singing vocals as well. Like Bugzy, we know Bugzy can do a lot. Like he can do the singing side of things. He can rap as well. We know he is one of the most accomplished rappers out there right now. There's no getting away from that. He's very, very solid at what he does. But this back and forth they're doing is really, really good. And I think the music video is really adding to things. It reminds me of an episode of House. I don't know if anyone's seen House. I'm hoping some people will have. There's an episode of House where it's a really weird reference, but Lisa Cuddy and Hugh Laurie end up in this sort of cutscene where they're doing this sort of like devil worship kind of scene whilst Cuddy's under anesthetic, under general anesthetic or whatever. So she's like knocked out, and there's this whole scene. There's a real vibe, like quite devilish, quite satanic in the way the vocals are kind of sitting.
Full I told her, don't cry, be a soldier. Now you're holding your composure. I think I see the Holy Ghost. I'm not ready yet to leave the throne.
It's just that bass line underneath is what's getting me. There's so much like build up there. It's a proper tune to amp yourself up to, and I feel like that's why this is kind of being done on a boxing match. You have to amp yourself up for that sort of situation. You have to get the adrenaline pumping, and this is getting the adrenaline pumping in the way it's been put together.
I to my enemies, didn't think I would survive my injuries. Didn't think the Almighty would intervene.
You know what? The way those drums just rolled, like if I heard this out live, I would go crazy for that drum solo, bro. It just adds so much power and everything to the tune. Like, this is a tune that's going to make you jump around. This is a tune that I would love to see performed live, because this is a tune that realistically would sound amazing with a live band. A lot of the time with certain rap tunes, people try to recreate them live with sort of instrumentation and live elements. But a lot of the time, it doesn't really do it. It doesn't really work. It feels a little bit forced. This is a tune I would love to hear in that sort of setting.
Life was a melody. Would the angels congregate and sing for me? Blue lights in the sky signify tragedy.
There's a lot of kind of biblical references going on here as well. Obviously talking about the pearly gates, talking about heaven, talking about angels. Will they sing for me? There's a lot of different things involved in the lyricism. It doesn't seem like it's that deep lyricism. I may have overshot earlier when I was talking about it being kind of a metaphor for growing up and saying don't cry if you're a man. Maybe, I don't know. I don't know. It feels like there's some subcontext on that somewhere. But just the production on the tune and the general compositional value is through the roof on this one. This is incredible.
I'm paranoia, bring a medic, bring a lawyer. I can't even bear the thought of living on with all this trauma. If the blood...
Just listen to how much is going on with no instrumentation at all, just vocal layers. There might be a violin or a string in there somewhere, but there's just so much kind of... There's no drums, basically. There's so much kind of smokiness to the atmosphere on this tune. The way it kind of just sweeps together is brilliantly put together.
Hallelujah, hallelujah. If it's breaking my spirit and I pray, will you hear it? Hallelujah, hallelujah.
There we go. What a tune that is, bro. Amazing stuff. Again, another biblical reference there at the end. Obviously saying hallelujah, hallelujah. They're sort of woven into what's going on with it. It's quite an interesting tune. There's a lot of layers to it, and yet not that many layers at the same time. It's quite there's a lot of subtext if you want to read into it, but you can just take it in for what it kind of says on the top. And obviously the music video, it seems like it's kind of about amping yourself up and beating challenges in front of you. That seems to be what the general context of what's happening in the tune is. Production-wise, crazy. Really nicely put together, really kind of orchestral, epic vibe to what's going on, and then obviously those little drum solos and the bass lines involved. It's just really nicely, tightly mixed as well. Bugzy on this is quite good. We don't actually hear that much of Bugzy on the tune. We hear him do a couple of verses, and then we hear him do that sort of vocalized section as well. We hear a lot of Dermot Kennedy. He sounds amazing on this. Really like his input on it. It gives it that it feels almost kind of Celtic. I mean, Dermot Kennedy sounds like an Irish name. It definitely has an Irish kind of twang to the way he's kind of putting the lyricism out there. So it might be sort of based on a folk song. I'm not too sure, but there we go. Really, really cool tune. Thank you to everyone who has watched this reaction video. We're going to try and get as many out tonight as we possibly can. Hopefully you do enjoy, and obviously we do have to cut it up a fair bit, so apologies, but it's the best we can do. So I hope you still enjoyed. Make sure you are clicking that subscribe button, turning notifications on, leaving a comment, leaving a like, and all that good stuff as well. And we'll see you all next time. Peace.